In the dry heart of African savanna, an adult African buffalo grazes alone at the edge of a herd, moving slowly through tall grass. Buffalo are large, powerful animals, but their thick hide and constant contact with grass and brush make them a prime target for ticks. And this one is carrying far more than usual. Clusters of ticks have gathered around his ears, neck, and the folds of skin near his legs, areas he can't easily reach on his own. The itching and irritation build steadily through the day, made worse by heat and the sheer number of parasites feeding on him. He shakes his head hard, trying to dislodge them. It barely helps. The buffalo rubs his neck against the rough bark of an acacia tree, scraping hard enough to loosen bits of hide. It relieves a few of the ticks, but does nothing for the ones clustered in spots he can't press against anything. Agitated, he tries again, rubbing his flank against a termite mound, stamping his feet, twisting his head back toward his own side in frustration. Ticks are persistent and deeply embedded, and no amount of scratching removes them all. Eventually, the irritation gets the better of him. He drops to the ground and rolls, kicking up dust, trying to scrape his back and sides against the dry earth. It's a common buffalo behavior for dealing with insects and heat. But the relief is only temporary. He gets up and the itching starts again almost immediately. A small flock of helmeted guineafowl moves through the grass nearby, foraging for seeds and insects stirred up by grazing animals. Guineafowl are known to follow large herbivores like buffalo, antelope, and warthogs. Not just for the insects kicked up underfoot, but because these animals often carry exactly the kind of parasites guineafowl are willing to eat. One bird notices the buffalo's restless behavior and the visible clusters of ticks along his neck and ears. It moves closer, cautious at first, watching the buffalo's movements before committing. The buffalo, mid-rub against another tree, barely reacts to the bird's approach. Guineafowl are a familiar, non-threatening presence to large grazing animals across the savanna. The guineafowl hops up onto a low branch near the buffalo's shoulder, then onto the buffalo's back itself, balancing with quick, small steps. It begins picking at the ticks clustered near the base of his neck, plucking them off one at a time. The buffalo tenses briefly at the first contact, then settles. Standing still in a way he hasn't since the irritation started. Other guineafowl in the flock take notice and move in as well. Spreading across his back, ears, and the folds near his legs, areas the buffalo couldn't reach on his own. The feeding is quick and methodical. Guineafowl aren't gentle groomers so much as efficient foragers. For them, this isn't cooperation so much as convenience, an easy, concentrated source of food in one place. But the effect for the buffalo is the same either way. Tick by tick, the source of his irritation disappears. He remains still for several minutes, occasionally shifting his weight, but no longer thrashing or rubbing. It's the calmest he's been since the encounter began. This kind of relationship, a large grazer tolerating and even benefiting from a smaller animal feeding on its parasites, is documented across the savanna in various forms, most famously with oxpeckers. Helmeted guineafowl aren't as specialized for this role, but they take advantage of the same opportunity whenever it's available. For the guineafowl, it's a reliable meal with minimal effort. For the buffalo, it's parasite removal he can't achieve on his own. Neither animal set out to help the other, but the arrangement works because both benefit from it. As the flock continues foraging across his back and shoulders, the buffalo lowers his head and resumes grazing, undisturbed by their presence. What started as a source of constant irritation has become something closer to routine maintenance. After a while, the guineafowl finish feeding in the areas they can reach and hop down, moving on to forage elsewhere in the grass. A few ticks remain in spots too difficult to access, but the worst of the infestation is gone. The buffalo shakes his head once more, this time out of habit rather than urgency, and rejoins the rest of the herd, grazing normally for the first time in hours.